It's the Hawk again. I'm still in Montana, talking to the folks out here. Wanted us to consider the new deals that have been made, trade deals. The China deal will go through, so will the Mexican and Canadian deals. The European deals will go as well. They'll all come into place once this is all going down. This democratic, communist, socialist, radical Muslim entity that's entered the Democratic Party is damaging to the United States. And it all started with Obama. Nobody wants to take into account that Obama was brought up in a madrasa in the Far East. His policies affected the Democratic Party to such an extent that the damage will be felt for years to come. Consider the fact that he fired over 30 of our top generals for bogus and any erroneous decisions, killing huge amounts of experience, people like Petraeus and others. He then turned around and got rid of all the colonels that have been in the military for over 30 years. These are facts. When the Clinton mess came out, they paid for this fusion GPS report written by a ex-MI6 double agent. It was all bogus. He was trying to sell it to the media. And now the media is on the other end of the stick now. When they approached Pelosi yesterday, she was getting angry. Now she doesn't want to talk about impeachment anymore. Let's move on. Let's move on. What does that tell you? This whole thing is backfired on them. She can't keep her story straight. Our farmers will get better deals now. Our trade goods will get a better deal now. They want to pass, they have literally passed this tax deal where the tax breaks will be permanent. And Trump wants to introduce more tax breaks because the economy is booming. We don't need the taxes. And in fact, you're only supposed to pay tax when you're at war. Maybe that's why the Democrats want him out. Why did we attack Libya? There was no point to it. Take into account another thing. Russia, Venezuela, South Africa, China, Libya, Iraq, and a few others wanted to go to the gold standard. Libya got wiped out, Iraq got wiped out. Venezuela got wiped out. They came up with a story about poisoning double agents in England to discredit Russia and put sanctions on them too. There's a lot more to this whole thing. The corruption in Ukraine is very deep. When you consider Uranium One, where Obama and Clinton sold over 50% of our uranium stock to Ukraine, and now they're trying to cover it up. If Trump gets re-elected, which I'm 100% sure he will be, God help them. Because there's a lot of people that are going to get arrested for treason, corruption, and much, much more. Because once the rats leave the ship, you watch them fall. That whole thing's going to sink. And they're petrified right now. That's why suddenly they're starting to pass these laws and agree to lower drug taxes, lower drug prices, and all this other stuff. Minimum wage. Now, I do agree that the minimum wage needs to be higher than what it is. Nobody can live on $9 an hour. $15, you can live a decent life. But you need to work for it, not be lazy. As for Obamacare, it should have been scrapped a long time ago. You cannot force people into buying medical insurance. That's just draconian communism. These HBOs, they need to be abandoned, ripped apart, tore apart. Nobody can justify one sheet of wet paper, a wipey, for $3. Nobody. You can't justify $30 for one pain pill in a hospital. You cannot justify a CAT scan for $2,000 when it takes exactly 5 minutes to do. It does not justify the cost. And these medical insurances should not be making billions of dollars in profit. And as for the oil companies, there should be no more subsidies to them too. They make enough money. Trump will be elected 2020, and a lot of these Democrats, these criminals, are going to go down. Also, when it comes to these drug deals, these drug prices and whatever, all these politicians that are getting donations or are consultants to these drug companies should be banned from voting in any direction because it's bias and there's a conflict of interest. So any politician out there who's getting money from drug companies or any medical companies, they cannot be part of this. And you'll find that 90% of them are taking money from drug companies and from these medical insurance companies to keep this system running exactly the same way. And that's why we're getting nothing done. They should be removed or resign from any of these groups, because that's corruption and there's a conflict of interest. This is the Hawk. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, hit the bell for upcoming videos, donate if you can. There's a lot of people in South Africa that need your help. And if none of you know about South Africa right now, over 75,000 white people have been murdered down there. There's a slow genocide on the go. One farmer every week is being murdered, and they're not only murdering them, but they're torturing them for hours and hours, pouring petrol down their throats and lighting them on, pouring boiling water over their heads till their heads melt off, drowning children, raping 2-year-olds, slitting the people open, cutting their fathers' eyelids off to make them watch them rape their children, drill holes in their wives, cut them open for no reason other than the fact that they're white people. They also have started land reform where they take the land without compensation just because they're white people, and they're punishing them for something that happened 400 years ago when people came to Africa. Now the historical lie is that the whites came, the blacks were there before them. This is not true. In the 1400s, the whites were there. The Khoisan and the Sand people, or the Bushmen, were there as well. They are the original people. The Bantu came down in the 1800s from the north. Now they're trying to twist history. The fact is, everybody born in Africa, it doesn't matter what color you are, you're an African. Please subscribe to my channel. And here again, I'll just mention this one more time. Communism, socialism. That's what's going on in South Africa right now. The lie of free. The lie that you can get everything for free. There is no such thing. Nothing comes for free. Once these farms disappear, there will be a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions in Southern Africa. The food that is produced by these farmers will not be non-existent. And millions of people will starve. What is going on there right now needs to stop. And it needs to stop immediately. This is a hawk. I'm out of here. I'm going up the canyon. Go see a Yellowstone. I'll see you on the next one.